Hello and welcome to Fools in Fiction. When you're on the road, when you're on the run, you gotta have your priorities straight. And our top priority was watching episode 1 of volume 7 of RWBY, which just came out for Rooster Teeth subscribers the other day. And
the crazy thing is we're poor, and so we were like, well, shit, we're gonna have to not only betray this school code of conduct and get kicked out of there, but we also have to violate the law and pirate it. And then I beat up Kevin and forced him to be on the podcast, and also stole his account so we could watch it.
Yeah, that's true. All of that's true. Please help me.
Yeah, please send help to Kevin in Nevada, where we definitely are. Wink, wink.
yes,
But that being said,
our address to send help is Nevada.
just write Nevada on the letter.
Yes.
So with that being said, I kind of just want to jump right in to...
Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, it's a really corny... we devolve into like a parody of ourselves. So just kind of talking about how we enjoyed the episode and our hopes for the future of the volume.
Yeah, for one, I just want to at home pull this up along with me. The character designs. I just want to take a quick look. I closed this.
So everyone's got a new design. We did not see any of the new designs in like the show. We saw them
just the intro.
Yeah. Except for one. But we're not allowed to talk about it for a while.
No, because we'll spend the entire podcast doing that.
Yeah. Which, definitely a great episode, but not now.
Yeah, if you do an episode on just them, bring me back.
Yeah. So,
I'll have some stuff to say.
all of the new designs look so much better. Well, I don't want to say better, but they look so good.
Yang's looks a little weird. The glasses I'm not totally sold on.
I like them.
I think they're good. Just in general, it was really a thing in Volume 6, especially in like the early episodes where they're like stuck in the forest and like Weiss is in like tights and a short skirt, and I'm like, wait, you guys knew you were going to Atlas, like, dress warmly.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like a mother doing that. It's like, wear a scarf, but still, I'm like, they're fighting Grimm and stuff. Like, I'd hate to see one of them die to like frostbite.
I like Weiss's design the most.
Me too.
I
absolutely.
love the hair and I love the color.
She's just this design is just so good.
Yeah,
like I feel like the pretty much everyone but Yang has. Like their character designs have evolved into something that seems really iconic.
Yang's is like a bit of a holdover from last volume.
Yeah, because her outfit didn't change in Volume 4 like everyone else's.
Yeah.
Well, it did, but like she didn't get the outfit.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're doing with Yang. I don't think it's bad, but I agree that it's
super outfit
like
is coming later.
I think Ruby's is my favorite, and Yang's is my least favorite. But really, all of them are excellent.
I love Ruby's new haircut.
Well,
Ruby's new haircut's
the thing with Yang is I think they're also leaning more into the fire hair.
Oh yeah, that's definitely what they're doing, just from the intro alone.
Yeah, and you can see in this poster, which all you podcast listeners can see this poster. I'll hold it up to the mic.
Oh yeah,
there.
You see?
So all the character designs are really good. Even like I think the really controversial one is Jean. Because of the haircut. I fucking dig it.
It's very, very good.
Langston hates it.
Yeah, I know he
which
does.
Is hysterical.
I know he does.
It's like a little fuckboy-y, but because we know John, like it's not a problem.
Nora's clothes look excellent.
Yeah.
And Ren's got a new fucking hairstyle.
Oh, I didn't notice that. He's got his father's dagger on his arm.
Oh shit, you're right.
That's cool.
This is so cool.
Oh
yeah. So I just don't care too much about John's outfit. Hasn't changed that significantly except for his hairstyle. And the hairstyle is something I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm just kind of neutral on it, and I love all the memes. So I don't care.
The thing about his outfit is that he got the big outfit change in Volume 4.
Yeah, that was significant. So I can see why they don't want to change it up too much.
So all the design stuff we've gone over. A small thing, but one that I was really happy about is whoever Crow's new VA is.
That was good.
I
wrote a note of that too.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are not aware, noted naughty bad man Vic Mignogna was the old voice of Crow, and then there were even more allegations and just kind of things about him. And Rooster Teeth was like, no, we're not going to do that. And I don't know who they hired on. I can look that up, actually.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I was not following that super closely, aside from the initial sort of like, they fired him, and after that I don't don't know what happens, but just in general, my main thing was like, seems like the right thing to do. I'm not completely sure, but like, that's fine. But I'm also like, I don't know if there's anyone that can really get Crow's voice but Vic Mignogna. So, but I've been proven wrong.
Yeah, Jason Liebrecht?
They did really well. Jason did really well.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's very good. If that is true, it's what a cursory Google search has.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that sounds familiar to me. I think that's correct.
So yeah, Crow's VA was like on point. The only voice acting thing I felt a little bit washy was Weiss at the very beginning felt weird.
The very beginning mood was a little weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it happens in RWBY. I think there's just a kind of awkward scene.
I think it was just the only thing that got me was the scene with the drunk people. That was like, I mean, and like the
well, how many
sort of extras voices are still sometimes a little.
Have you been around drunk people?
Oh yeah, but it's like it just sounds like someone trying to act drunk rather than someone actually drunk.
No.
And part of that's just the dialogue too. It's like I always find the stuff with like
that's
people
fair.
being racist against Faunus, like it makes sense and like, you know, I get what they're going for, but sometimes it does sort of sound a little heavy-handed. But also, 2019 in America, maybe it's not unrealistic.
Yeah. The big one for me was I was hearing that and I'm like having war flashbacks to when everyone's drunk in my house.
That's fair. Yeah.
And then the main other thing I wanted to hit on the head before we went to the big news is that
I've got one after you.
Oh, okay. The fight choreography is so fucking good now.
It was good.
Oh my god, it was excellent.
Like Volume 6 fight choreography was a whole step up, but like, they just there's this big scene where they all just fight a bunch of Grimm, like in the streets. Now we have to suspend our belief as like, why are there Grimm here in this city? But like,
well, because at that moment it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it looks so good. They do a really good job of like showing the flow between characters now. Like where Ren just immediately runs ahead, Nora's like, what the fuck? And then looks at John and he's like, this again. Like that interaction was just very well animated. I think the animation quality has also gone up in general.
Yeah, it's just like I have absolutely no complaints at this point with the animation. I think there's a few. I say as I complain about the animation. I think there's a few problems with walking animations. I think I noticed with Yang. She was walking a little weird, but like that's just such a minor thing. It doesn't bother me really.
Like, I mean, compared to like the extra walking animations they had in the background that like looked awful, I can't complain that much. So what was your extra add-on?
It was just like right before that fight when they all heard a what is it in the Christmas thing? It was the night before Christmas. They all heard a clamor.
Clamor, yeah.
Yeah, and then they rose up from wherever they were to see what was the matter, and they went
off. Rise up.
Yeah, they went off onto the street just walking. Seeing all of them walking, just like I noticed how many like characters there were, how many main characters there were, and I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, that classic moment, like my family, you know. Also, they've done a really good job of not making the party too big. Yeah, even though like there are a lot of people there. Yeah, because I didn't realize, like, I legitimately didn't realize how big the party had been. Yeah, until they all walked out of that tiny place into the street.
At what's his name's shop.
I don't know what his name is. What is his name? Do you know his name?
Well, I think it's Pietro, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is Pietro. I made the joke that he's Quicksilver. So, unless you have something else to bring up.
On the point about party size, I think that was something that Volume 6, I have very few complaints about Volume 6. I loved it. One of them was the fact that it felt like 90% of the stuff that Blake had been doing for 2 volumes kind of got resolved and then thrown out the window, and they did quite well, I think, in addressing it. Certainly Sun leaving felt pretty natural. But as for Ilya, who's one of my favorite characters, so I'm a little biased in this, but just in general, her and her parents, like, just, it felt like, what exactly are you doing right now? It felt like at least Ilya, her story wasn't quite complete, and I would like to see her kind of in the main group, but all at the same time, like, party size was a thing, and that was something I noticed going back to the openings was they sort of hit on that whole, like, classic anime trope of, like, the final shot of the opening is, like, all the characters together in, like, a cool pose. And that just hits me. It's like, the group we have is excellent.
Yes,
I think there's
absolutely.
not really a way you could add more than one or two more characters into the dynamic without sort of disrupting that or making it too much. And I'm happy to see those characters interact more. But yeah, I certainly think, like, I hope they don't do that again. That's the thing. Doing it once with a character I really love, that's fine. But especially with the character we'll get to, like, I hope they don't kind of just do a whole thing of, like, let's bring back or introduce a very really cool character, have them be part of the team, and then just kind of leave, and they're doing something while the other group is saving the world.
My big thing for Volume 7 was that I kind of felt that, like, when they killed Adam in Volume 6, I was like, alright, so, like, a bunch of interesting things have to happen with the White Fang, and they're all going to be in Atlas, where the White Fang is probably not going to be as visible as it was in other volumes, and so I'm like, are we going to flash to Vale or wherever?
I'm sure we will eventually. We've only seen one episode.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
There's tons of speculation.
Make Ilya the new leader of the White Fang.
That would
be really good.
If they do that, that's awesome. But, like, that's the thing is, like, there's not really the sense in Volume 6 of, like, exactly what they will be doing. And those are two characters that, like, you know, they're not in on all of the Ozpin Salem stuff that, like, the main characters are, but, like, even in Volume 5, they knew some stuff was going down. They knew some pretty much world-ending stuff was going to happen. And, you know, I felt like especially Ilya, who's so devoted to Blake, even though their relationship's a little more healthy now, I don't think they gave a proper reason why she doesn't go with her.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing is, like, we haven't seen... That's a main theme of the show is, like, finding people to support you, and, like, Blake does, but only so long as she gets help defeating Adam, and then after that point, Ilya just kind of drops off. But Sun's reason made sense because he is a terrible leader for his team and needs to spend time with them.
Also, justice for Team Coffee.
Oh, that's true.
Bring
but
them
they're
back.
getting a novel, right?
They're what?
I think they're getting a novel, Team Coffee. I'm pretty sure... I saw people going nuts because Coco's at least by because they released a chapter of the novel.
Wait.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking...
This
I'm
is
Googling.
earth-shattering. First of
the
all,
whole podcast.
Coco was 100% a bi icon before.
Well, we knew that, but, like, we knew it in our gut, not in
I know
writing.
they have a manga and, like, a DC comic.
Yeah, maybe it's a comic, but, like, they're doing a standalone story from Team Coffee.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
It is called RWBY After the Fall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had heard about that.
Oh my god, that makes me very
They're
happy.
here.
Yeah.
Is it
So
available
they are
now?
doing stuff. They are doing
Available in stock now.
Buy it.
I will not.
It's
eventually
$6.
It is $6.
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I will not, like, right now while we're recording the podcast.
Yeah. And that's
Also,
the thing. Yeah. I love Team Coffee.
I do want to wait until we get to Nevada so I can put my address in as Nevada.
All right.
Oh, that's fair. But yeah, that's the thing is, like, I mean, those characters we haven't seen since Volume 3, and I love Coco and Velvet and Yasuhashi and Fox. Like, they're all great.
Fox has no personality.
No, they love him anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
but I love Fox.
they're
Yeah,
perfect
but
for
those
this
characters are like, we're in the story, and then, like, Volume 3 is the clearest story break we've ever had in the show, so, like, it makes sense why we haven't seen exactly what they're doing, but, like, yeah, I hope that the characters that enter and leave the story have sort of a natural flow, and I think that was missing a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen this volume way better and more smoothly, although I have no idea how this volume is going to end.
So now to broach to broach what's happening. Fucking Penny's back. Ah!
I
love it. I
feel
love
like
her
I
so
didn't have
much.
any time to, like, react.
Process it.
It was just
Yeah.
like, it's happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want you to know I almost cried. I was so happy.
oh no, I'm totally happy, but I feel like I had just, like, abandoned all hope.
Langston and I hugged when we watched the
Really?
episode. We were just, like, stood up, like,
Oh.
yeah. It was just, like, it was really fun. It was
that
amazing.
is so accurate. So I was like when I was watching the trailer, I was keeping in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, right, like, they never wrapped up the loose end of what happened to Penny, and she's from Atlas. I wonder if they're going to talk about that. But I expected that to be, towards the climax or something, and they're just like, fucking salutations, losers, she's
What
back.
if she dies immediately, and then she does come back in the climax?
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just worried because, of course, this volume in the first episode introduces Penny back into the show, and Watts is the main villain.
Oh no!
He's the
hacker.
He's the
I'm
hacker.
in.
So
that's fair.
We might be getting PvP Part 2, boys.
all we need to do is bring Pyrrha back from the dead.
Yeah. Well, we're 1 for 2 now.
We're 1 for 2.
Well, shit, Torchwick's not back. So.
Oh no!
Well. 1 for 2 of the gingers we like and are good people.
I don't think they're gonna bring Pyrrha back.
They're never gonna do
I
that.
think you're a loser and that you're wrong. And I think what they're gonna do is at the end of Volume 3 when they're transferring the aura over from Amber into Pyrrha.
I forgot about this whole thing.
There's a little bit that goes into Pyrrha, and then it goes back into Amber,
Yeah.
and then the maiden powers get transferred to Cinder, who still has them as of recording. But the really interesting thing is the conceit of, or the reason Penny was created was to be like the next Fall Maiden.
Yeah.
To take that aura.
Do you mean Pyrrha?
No, Pyrrha
Penny?
wasn't. Penny was created.
Oh yeah, how would Pyrrha be created?
Yeah.
The reason people had sex and created Pyrrha.
Yeah.
No, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and so I'm like, what if they succeed in stripping Cinder of the maiden powers, and there is Pyrrha's consciousness in the aura? Because there's always like the story that aura is your soul.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
So you think Pyrrha and Penny might fuse?
yeah,
That'd be something.
Which really makes me sad because then that either means that Arcos is real and Nuts and Bolts isn't, or Nuts and Bolts is real and Arcos isn't.
I have my own Penny theory that's been like half confirmed, half completely destroyed as of this episode, which I've been clamoring about this ever since Volume 3.
Okay.
Which is that at the end of Volume 3, we have Penny and Pyrrha both dead, and now Penny's obviously back. Before, it's basically the intro of this, like the very beginning of the opening theme song for Volume 7, like shows the 4 members of Team RWBY, and then the 4 other young cast members, which is basically Team Juniper minus Pyrrha, and then Oscar's in Pyrrha's spot. So my theory was that they were going to eventually get to Atlas, and they'd see a rebuilt Penny. Doesn't matter whether it's like Penny, the same Penny, basically, you know, if you catch my drift there. But like, she would take Pyrrha's spot, and keep the name Juniper, and like I think a theory based on the episode where Pyrrha and Penny fight, which is PvP, and like the initials of every character are significant in the story, so that's what I always thought would happen. But Oscar Pine kind of takes that, so I don't think that's the direction they're going. But I really wanted to see that because I thought that was something I wanted to really explore, because Penny was a really great character, but we really only got to see her with RWBY, and anyone else was basically only tangentially aware of her existence.
I think it'll be really interesting to see how she relates to the other cast members, the numerous other cast members in this volume. Yeah, it's something I never thought I would see, but I'm glad that it will happen.
I never thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
And wait, one more point before I get out to and wow, a father figure in this show who doesn't seem to have a whole shit ton of baggage.
Do you mean Tai Xiaolong? Or
no, I mean Pietro to Penny is like the most wholesome father figure.
What is his name?
Isn't it Tai Xiaolong?
No, it's Tai Yang.
Tai Yang, yeah.
Oh.
It's Tai Yang Xiaolong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew he gets called Tai by Crow is why. But yeah, there's like he's just like, my daughter talks about you, and I'm like, oh, what did he say?
I knew as soon as we walked in there, I'm like, this is the guy. But
This is the man!
I didn't know
Here
if
he
Penny
is.
would come back. I was really worried this was going to be another one of those like moments like the statue in Argus in Volume
Fuck!
6, and I'm like, okay, it's Ruby's turn.
That was also
Alright.
definitely Pyrrha's mom, and you can't change my mind.
It absolutely was. But in the end, it doesn't matter. That was a moment about
Jean.
closure for Jean and Pyrrha, and really whoever you think that is, like that's the point.
Yeah. Going off, I'm really happy that it's the same Penny. That they didn't wipe like
that would have been mad.
Who are you? Yeah.
I mean, that would have been interesting, but
we would have demolished
I feel like
Ruby.
we've seen that trope. Like,
we've seen it. Like, I'm sure they would have done it well. But,
Yeah. Also, her new design is so fucking good.
I love it.
I have scoured the internet and I can't find the picture.
I'm pretty sure some
I will
people have
find it in
claimed,
moments.
I think there's some design similarities with Ruby's Volume 1 through 3 outfit.
Okay.
Which gives people a sense of like, oh, cool.
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah,
nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts.
Not to get too into shipping here, but like I totally see why people shipped it back in Volumes 2 and 3. And I was never like sure one way or the other because when I watched the show, I really like binged.
Are they
volumes 1
gay or
through 3.
European?
No, it was more so that like by the time I really had time to process the entire story, I had already reached the end of Volume 3, and I was like, "Well, that's done." So I never I can't ship retroactively characters that I know are gone, which is why I was like, wow, I would really be a bigger Arcos and Nuts and Dulce shipper if they weren't.
And here's where I'd put my OTP if I had one. I had like the exact opposite thing. I've been watching RWBY as it came out like since Volume 1, and so I was a huge shipper for Nuts and Dulce and for Arcos. And as a matter of fact, I like didn't care about other ships until after Volume 3, and then I was like, oh, well, that fucking sucks. Yeah. And then in Volume 4, I'm like, alright, I guess we're shipping Bumblebee now.
Yeah. I've wanted for ages, I'll admit, to like talk to you about Bumblebee, but I don't think this podcast is the time. But just in general, like I've had a very interesting journey with that ship in particular.
I love Bumblebee.
And I think it's really cute in Volume 6, and I hope the thing I hope not to get into too many of my like sort of predictions or wants. I kind of want to not have too many set expectations because I want to just see how it goes this volume. But like, I really think one of my problems with RWBY storytelling still is that like they don't want to address explicitly any relationships that aren't platonic, and I think that like some shows do that and they have the right to do that, but like the thing, like there's very clearly some that are made to make you think like, wait a minute, they're definitely like everything with that Atom fight last volume was like very clearly meant to set up a romantic partnership between the two of them, and I just hope it isn't like basically the past 2 volumes of Treated Ren and Nora, which is like they held hands once, and now we're never going to talk about it again. Except for the hands off my man thing, which, like, if Yang would definitely say something like that about Blake. But, like, just in general, like, that's also treated as a joke. And I think one of the things that's good of his RWBY storytelling is able to deal with serious stuff, but, like, also really have, like, nice human connection. And I want to see that with relationships rather than just friendships. And I know the friendship's like the main thing, but like I think they could do it really well, and they're avoiding it.
My big thing is that RWBY is kind of a kid's show, and like RWBY has come out and said like, please do not watch this with your kids. They said that like in the middle of Volume 3.
Oh, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. But I think that they still retain some of the influence on what they're willing to show based on.
I don't know.
I'm not asking for.
I'm not asking for like hardcore uncensored sex between characters, but I think that they could definitely have more romantic and more. I don't want to say sexual, but like.
Just explicit.
Yeah.
And
not in the NSFW way.
Yeah.
No. I mean, that's the thing. It was like, I don't know why they did that, because they had an entire arc that was sort of more standard of that with the dance in Volume 7, and it was like pretty.
Do you mean Volume 2?
Volume 2. Sorry,
it's like Volume 7.
It was episode
Have you
7.
seen the future?
Episode 7 of Volume 2 was like the whole dance thing, and that was mostly just like other character development.
That was
going on.
Jean being in a dress.
Yes, I mean that was great. So, but just in general, like I think that's something really good about the show is I just love these characters and love them interacting and supporting each other, and like I don't think that the story ends for them when they hold hands and then it's like, all right, now we're gonna consider this kind of done and not like deal with the consequences of like what do you do on a battlefield or like with all of these other people, like when there's all of these feelings kind of mixed in. And just in general, like I would, you know, it doesn't even have to be big things. I've seen so many people make jokes on the internet of just like, how did John deal with Nora and Ren? Like, they were sharing a room in the Mistral Hotel. So I was like, wait, poor John.
Poor John being like, well, what do I do now? I think you also fucking sparked the bad memory when you were like holding hands and it's done, and I'm like, oh, Cora.
That's true, but then it was the end of the show. That's a little different. It's still in the comics. I've read the comics. They're good.
That's like a whole nother discussion about like
it is.
Intent and what you put in media.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that I think this volume is the best time they've had since the dance to address interpersonal relationships on a deeper than platonic level.
And if they do not, I think that might be queer baiting.
Yeah, that's really where I'm at. Is that like if Blake and Yang don't get together, or talk, or like, or
if
talk about
it is not mentioned here on out, then that's queer baiting.
Well, I mean, I didn't see it that way.
Free.
I didn't see it that way exactly, but I totally get where you're coming from. But just like, I feel like I would feel the same if this was like Blake and Son, or if Yang was a guy, or like literally anything else.
That's fair.
Like, it's just like, to me, it's like a writing thing, but like, it's queer baiting too, because it's like, if you're gonna stress that, like, that comes along with it. And that's in general, that was something that was like, in Volume 5, Ilya's confession was like, probably one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I can't wait to see how Blake and Ilya's friendship and relationship goes from there. And they're gonna obviously talk about it and address it.
Obviously.
Blake might even kind of finally reveal a little bit more about herself, because she keeps getting all these pressures from other people around her about romantic interests. And obviously she would address this being such a mature person. And
wrong.
She may have. That wasn't a scene that we
weren't
saw.
legally allowed to see it.
It's like, well, actually, my sexual preferences are episode X.
Yeah. No, I do have a lot of hope for them in this volume. Like, I'm pretty sure they're at least gonna mention it, because I'm sure that they know about it because they wrote it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you know, like it's
Volume 5 and 6 definitely said lesbian rights.
Because
of John's sister. And with After the Fall confirming Coco is bi, like, they at this point, RWBY, you will have no excuses at the end of this volume for rage.
Yeah, and I don't think it has to happen like next episode.
No,
no. Just by the end of the season.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't even need anything explicit like a kiss or whatever. I'm sure that would be really great, but like just reinforcing with like things, just like they did kind of last volume with Nora and Ren, of like I don't need to see it. I just need to. Like, the characters need to acknowledge it a little bit. Like, I don't need to be there for their relationship, just as long as I know that relationship is happening in the background.
Because there's a difference between, like, seeing character development and then, like, voyeurism. Which I will not advocate on this.
Yeah.
So, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah. If we want to talk about hopes, I have a couple more things.
Oh, yeah. Let's do some more hopes.
Let's do the lightning round of what we're hoping for.
Yeah, I think... Let me go down the list. I want more Oscar development.
Oh,
I really do. He got an outfit last volume. Super cool. Like, we learned some stuff, but it was really more clues. And, like, he got really, like, abused a little bit by several people. And he's just, like, 14 and cool with it. And there's no way. Like, I want to know a little bit more about how he's really feeling.
Yeah.
I want less Ozpin development.
Yeah, I don't need that. I need
Ozpin
Oscar.
undeveloped, Oscar.
Yeah, that's why I said Oscar.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I talked about that a little bit, but the other thing is, I don't know if they're going to spend like just a volume here and then move on to somewhere else, but I really want whatever sort of is the whole like equivalent to the Fall of Beacon or the Battle at Mistral. Mm-hmm. I want to feel genuine tension from the plot, like from what's going to happen, who gets the relic, what it does, things like that.
We know what the relic is, by the way. It's shown in the opening,
which is like a really cool,
big move.
Yeah, I noticed that on a rewatch, but in Volume 5, the tension wasn't really that high. You didn't really know what was going to happen. But not in like a great way. You were just sort of like, it'll probably be fine. And like the most drama that happened was Weiss getting impaled, and you were very kind of sure that was like that sort of felt injected in there to give the plot some adrenaline rather than anything that felt sort of organic. So I'm sure it's going to happen, and I think it'll be a little bit more personal considering Ironwood's involved, and we know him rather than Lionheart.
He's back.
But so there's that, and I just really hope, like I said earlier, that Penny was my favorite thing this episode. I hope they continue to have her around, make the most use of her as a character because she's great, and I hope that like she plays a role in the story and not just sort of there for
a nod,
fan service thing. Like helps Ruby's like whole story along, which is great. I love the fact that Ruby has really
her friends back,
a character. She has like her own stuff going on. That was. In Volume 6 too, and I thought that was fantastic. And so, but I think Penny deserves moments of her own. I think she deserves to be a character and not just a supporting one, like because she's really good and the fans love her. So
I totally
that's what
agree.
I've got.
I will leave that. I think we're fine for her doing things because she's like, I'm the protector of this city. Yeah. Fucking Jimmy Neutron got a blast.
It seems we will have to wait.
Yeah.
Best line in the episode.
I love her.
I love her too. I love her so much.
She's back.
And she has lasers and can fly.
I don't.
Oh yeah, she couldn't fly before.
Yeah. No.
Well, so in the manga,
Yeah.
she can make a jetpack
What?
out of her sword.
I haven't read the manga.
Wait, there's a RWBY manga?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I've read some of the manga. I don't remember that part.
I found it on the wiki when I was looking for her new upgraded costume.
That's amazing.
So, is it a costume when it's actually your metal body?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right, so I think I think that's it. I think it's time to do plugs.
Yeah, I think have I said my hopes? I think so. It's pretty much just Bumblebee, and also what Kevin said.
Yeah,
definitely more stuff with Penny. I want to see some more Nora too. I feel like Nora we've lost a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's a theory that like she's from not Mantle, but like she's gonna have moments just because like her background, as we saw in Volume 4, was clearly kind of impoverished, so she might relate to the whole thing going on with Mantle, but we haven't seen anything.
I just like to see some more scenes where she has dialogue, pretty much.
Yeah, that too. All of her dialogue is hilarious.
But yeah, let's do some plugs. We gotta run 2 unspecified activities. So yeah, do you mind if I do the plugs?
No, that's fine.
Email us at foolsandfiction@gmail.com. Send us your whatever.
Send us spam.
Yes, this will be unqualified. What else? We have a Reddit, reddit.com/r/foolsandfiction. The other podcasts on that podcasting network are at Spreaker.com/user/PNWN.
Go there and flame them and leave downvotes for expelling us.
Absolutely. Leave us an iTunes rating or review. That helps us out a lot somehow. I'm sure I know podcasters say that, so I'm sure it's true. As we are now the podcasters, but I don't know exactly how it helps us. It probably helps us. It means that when I look at it on iTunes, I'll be like, oh, someone liked it.
Sick. I think that's it. So it is time for the ceremony.
Goodbye.
Please, for the love of God, turn the podcast off.